Hi, VOD watchers. Welcome on through. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I am recovering from being sick. So if you see me not talk as much or whatnot, just know that I'm in recovery mode. I will touch on the main elements and highlight everything as much as I can and keep up the energy. We're here. Hey, the subathon is in a couple of days, or it might have already started. Make sure to come and join us. We are going live every day. We will announce more of the subathon and hopefully make a video for all of you guys come the starting of the week. With that being said, I want to talk a little bit about how amazing this community is. You all, as a community, the Bungo Stray Dogs community, so far have proven yourselves to be one of the most amazing communities that I think a majority of the mods can agree with have had the pleasure of encountering and dealing with. Um, I can't say this enough. All of you have are very maybe no I have just absolutely blown us away, and we've had a lot of different communities come through along the ways, but all of you are supportive of one another. All of you are very welcoming, especially to me as an outsider that's like slowly coming in and taking steps into the Bungo Stray Dogs community. And you guys have been nothing but supportive and amazing, and I can't thank you all enough. Thank you all to everyone that shared on Tumblr, Reddit, all the TikTok edits that I've seen. Keep it up. Feel free. I don't get mad. Clip it, ship it, do whatever you guys want to. I love that shit. Sometimes I'm at night and it pops up and there's like a random edit, and I start laughing. Like even if it's roasty, I like love it. I laugh at it and I keep going. It is great and it is phenomenal. And that's what I'm saying is thank you all so much. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Rain. Thank you to Kimch and everyone that's modding and that's actively participating in the Discord with sharing videos and all of that. It means the world to keep growing the space and to keep growing sort of the different avenues and the analysis, which I think is the most important part of these characters, of everything that's in there. So thank you all so much. I hope that Bungo wins. I really do. You guys, voting is done by now, but the results will be on Sunday. By the time this goes up on YouTube or wherever you guys watch the VODs, voting might be done. But come Sunday, you will find out if there was enough support or not for your show. Exactly. I'm scared. I'm scared. But without being scared anymore, let's jump right into it. We have about 2 episodes today to jump through and analyze. We're going to jump right into it. We have a lot to cover, so let's go. Ooh.
人差しで敵の急所をつく必要がある。
It is?
下手くそ。
よし。
ちょっと何すんの
？Don't eat the crayons, don't eat the crayons, don't eat the crayons, don't eat the crayons. Question for you guys. For her, she gonna eat the crayons. She's a crayon eater. She's a crayon eater. Oh no, chat. Oh no. Okay. For her, here's my question for you. How much of her personality is hers versus how much of her personality is actually created by Mori? How much of her personality is her own? Or is it just his projection out of, behaviors and other things that like Mori might have encountered? Or maybe, who, like, how they believe that their kid might have been. you know? And I say this for two reasons. Like, number one, what are you? What are you made out of? And more specifically, what is your personality the foundation of? If you take everything away, we go right down to you laying at the end of the night after work, after hanging out with friends, whatnot. What is left? And I really do mean this. What is left? What is the real you that is left at the end of the day when you can finally take off your mask? When we look at them, and particularly, that's a question that comes up as well, right? Is ultimately, what is left if Mori doesn't have to project? Is she just a shell? And then, he plays personalities as to like how they envision them to be or whatnot, and then they reacted accordingly. I don't know. Maury gets my head going because on the one hand, in here we always see him being, very kind and a loving father, doting father. But in the outside world, we see how much of a killer they can be, and how much on the spectrum they are, All right, you guys ready? Is she a mirror to him in a way? That's the big thing. Is she a mirror? The perspective that she that he believes that she was, or that she would be if he had a child, right? That is huge. That is the main element that the more I'm thinking about, the more it's like, wait a minute. First off, that implies that Maury had a close relationship with others, and even more so, who would Elise's mother, as you guys were stating earlier, be, right? Who would they be? That's sort of the cute element to look at when it comes to this. Aside from that, it's me. I'm her mother. Are you, Pidge? Are you? I don't know. I look at this and it's just, it strikes me as interesting. It strikes me as unique, and also the fact that they're on different perspectives, different paths altogether. One does art while the other one throws whatever they can at the dartboard. That
人差し
one strike.
人差しで敵の急所をつく必要がある
下手くそ
You suck. All I know is Maury's is my pretty loser wife. Oh. Holy aim.
下手くそ
よし
ちょっと何すんの
お友達に手紙を書く
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
「に手紙を書く」書く
With the sort of lighting that comes on through, what secrets or what history do the rest of these individuals have? Even more so for President Rainzawa there, one of the key things that this is highlighting is Atsushi coming into the revelation as to what must happen and what has happened in the past and how they must improve and, sort of be that hope for the future. One of the key elements that, as we're looking into this as well, is Fukuzawa, right? When we're looking at them, it's what are the sins of the father? Look at Mori. What are their sins? And what are their sins from the past? And what are things that they regret that they've done that they can no longer take back? Same thing with Kunikita, Dazai, and even President Fukuzawa, right? What are the sins of the father in that regard? And what are they trying to stop in generational trauma aspects, or maybe even perpetuate, keep it going for future generations? Because on the one hand, it's like we're looking at Mori, and it's like, does Mori even care about stopping anything, or are they just full on board? Let's keep pushing through it. It is what it is. On the other hand, look at Dazai, and it's like, what? How has Dazai changed? Yeah, because even for Kunikita, right? I guess comes into question, right? If Kunikita could choose a timeline where they didn't have their abilities and they would just be like a teacher, do you think that they would choose it? Do you think that they would be open to like no longer having the strain and burden of being an ability user? Oh God! You finally get to hear it. Welcome. I know. Do you think that Jinji would be a better leader for the Port Mafia than Mori? I know the Star-Eyed Child. I know it's. I think so. I know we haven't seen them much, but just from the perspectives in the anime and the OP and stuff that we're seeing in here, it shows. And sometimes the greatest leaders aren't necessarily the ones that are screaming to be a leader, but they're the ones that like have to step up into the role. And just from the aspects and stuff that we've been seeing in here for the OP and stuff, um, one of the big things that is being highlighted in this is like number one, right? look at the way they're looking at each other and passing each other's paths. But aside from that, right, it's the active thinking, right? The like active shots that we see with Jinji so far in all of this is showcasing that like it's a path or it's a path that has to have crossed with the Zai at some point in time, right? They're already up there with the Port Mafia, so they're already like in that level or in that element. Now, would he have more empathy than Mori? That's the key thing there. Yeah, probably. Probably. Let's be honest, right? Mori is a character that. Mm. So yeah, smart. Smart is very much leaded. Boss to how big it is, but his biggest strong suit is his strength. I think here's the difference. Let's talk about leadership, and let's talk about why I don't like Mori as a leader. I don't. I don't like him as a leader. Just being straight up about it. I know some of you guys might disagree. Hold on. I gotta move my mountain of cards here. Hold on. Of binders of cards. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm not twerking for y'all, I promise. Alright. Here's why. There are many different styles of leaders out there. Hundreds, you can name it, right? But we'll categorize them. First and foremost, there's transformational leadership. Okay? Transformational leadership is, have you ever gone to a boss, right? And they've known when to apply pressure, when to be like, hey, you know what? We got a tight deadline. Let me work with you. Let's find a way to go out and get this to work out together. Let's understand one another, right? Like, let's see where that's at. Let me work with you. At the same time, they were kind of teachers, but they knew that element of when to apply pressure and when not to. Right? Or at times being more welcoming towards you and being able to go out and transform you and help you grow. That's sort. Think about transformationals as growth leadership, right? And these are seen as the ideal form of healthy leadership, right? These are the rare, the unicorns in the world, right? If you can find a transformational leader, please know that it's a unicorn. Okay. Up next, authoritative. My way or the highway. Usually very narcissistic, for being honest. Executive driven. I need this done by 8 p.m. today, and I know I just told you 30 minutes ago. Get it done, or you're fired. Oh, you don't like that? Well, I guess you're not gonna take your vacation time. Damn, that sucks, don't it? You should have prepared for it. You should have prepared for this last minute, last second change. So that I think it's important to acknowledge that the mafia is a criminal organization. Even with the criminal organization. Even criminal organizations will often go for transformational or other types of leadership. You know, while they might have a figurehead, well, it might be the cartel leader, the CEO, whatever you want to name it, they will still use transformational types of leadership. If they're using authoritative types of leadership, how much trust do you have inside of that leadership without feeling like your world's about to end at any point in time? How much do you feel like you can develop as an individual, not only yourself, but outside relationships as well? It's trustable. Hold on. I'll bring this up here. I think this will just be easier to highlight than me going through all of them. Me losing my voice and everything. Oh God. Horrible, horrible. Here's a really good one. This is what you get. These are leadership styles. Okay. If you start going into the red, you start losing people. And here's the thing, a person's past actions, how they grown a company, congrats, anyone can grow a company. Anyone can grow a company. Anyone can sit at a chair and mandate orders. However, maintaining the trust and maintaining like positive morale and being able to build positive relationships out of that, that's where the real struggle comes in. And that's what determines a good leader, right? When you look at this, it's how are you able to go ahead and jump in, right? How are you, like, for example, if we have like Mori at the moment, where are they at for the most part? They seem more in the orange leading to red. Here, the difference between, well, yeah, low directive behavior, yeah. That's two. Well, I mean, yeah, their directives are coming from them, right? Mm-hmm. 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 So he is a competent individual. He knows what he's doing. But again, who would make a better leader? Somebody that's been there for a while, somebody that will execute you and use you as a pawn, as a toy in any capacity. Somebody that is clearly has antisocial personality disorder to a point where they don't care about most human life, or at least their compatriots' human life. Somebody that will, and for the most part, we can make this assumption here. Will either try and stop if Dazai stayed in there, would have tried to stop Dazai or eliminated Dazai before Dazai eliminated them, because they full well know that Dazai would have tried to eliminate them. On the other hand, you have Jinji, who is sort of, from what we're looking at, taking strides and looks to be more empathetic. So, here's the thing is, would Dazai have made a good leader? Mm. Mm. If Dazai stayed, would he have made a really good leader? But those are the best leaders, Peppermint. Individuals that at times don't want to step up to the plate, but they have to. At times, those are the individuals that you can count on. See, but there's a difference between a good leader and an effective leader. I think that's where people get confused. Most people say a good leader is an effective leader, but that's not necessarily true. A good leader, right, values and trusts the life of the people that work underneath them towards the capacity that they wouldn't necessarily immediately engage them into danger, right? An effective leader will get stuff done at all cost while trying to minimize, or not necessarily minimize, but moderately minimize elements. So that's sort of the key capacity there. Is there's a difference between a great leader and an effective leader inside of that. Mm-hmm. Chuya would be a good leader. Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's what I fear. And this is my genuine fear throughout this, right? The Port Mafia seems to be under an effective leader at the moment. They've been going through ups and downs with an effective leader, right? Because Mori is an effective leader. What happens if Mori were to disappear? Would you want... Yeah, what happens in a period in time if Mori were to disappear? Chaos? Sure. You probably have all the executives fighting for that position, right? If Mori were to disappear, do you think people would want the same style of ups and downs, or do you think that people would want more of a stability period? And that's not necessarily with the huge ups and downs of effectiveness, right, in that layer, but more of a good leader rallying people to come together and maybe slightly changing what their effective statue are. Because that would be cause of a period of instability without Mori there. Huge chaos. Yep. Yep. Would mafia leader affect you as more moral compass? It might. It might also change because remember, as a leader, you have the capacity to change, like organizationally, your structure there. So you have the capacity to start changing the overall moral. Because here's the thing. I feel like people are thinking port mafia equals bad. Is that true? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think port mafia, I'm going to call it the port familia, is really an umbrella kind of protecting Yokohama from like the Americans and the other mafias probably out there. So the port mafia is not necessarily bad, but you need, if you're going to be in there, right? Yeah, exactly. Then you need somebody that is a great leader that is able to go ahead and have this communication style actively happening in this regard, while at the same time maybe defending your city that you're at and defending the people that are there. Yeah, there is no black or white. Exactly, Star. There is no black or white. It's a gray scale, you know? Not the most healthy. Exactly, it's not the healthiest thing. But here's the thing, right? And I guess ultimately where it comes in is an effective leader will not care about the consequences. And most people will be like, oh, well, an effective leader in this thing is sort of a balancing act, They're in there for balancing, and they're great, they're like necessary because that is what the best leader would do. That is a false dichotomy, and that is a lie. That is something that's probably been established for a period of time and a period of instability in there. Some of the greatest leaders that you'll see are probably some of the, are great leaders, not necessarily effective leaders, because you need a period of reorganization. So, for example, one of the biggest things in here is the Port Familia. At any point in time, there could have been an instance where they could have teamed up with a detective agency. A great leader takes into account other people, their opinions, and even if they're wrong. A great leader would probably try to find a way to mend the bridge with the detective agency in some capacity, or find a working pattern if they already knew that there's other elements out there. The Bungo Godfathers. Bungo Stray Kids. Here's another one. What happens if Fukuzawa were to die or disappear? Would there be specific consequences? Good question. What would happen if Fukuzawa were to die or disappear? Kunikita would take over. Rampo would crash out. Would Rampo even stay there? Would Rampo even stay there? Depends on what you're measuring. Yes. Alrighty. Poor Rompo. Poor Rompo. Rompo might go to drastic measures. I feel like the agency would survive. Who would step up into that leadership position? And that's something worth considering as well, especially for the detective agency, you know? Kunikita. Depends on, do you think he cares enough about the rest of the agency to help them keep afloat? Yeah. Well, and if Kunikita were to step up into that position, how much of a strain would that put into the relationship with Dazai and with others, especially when there's a power imbalance? That's big questions. Big questions. All right, y'all ready? Rampa's a genius, but he's not a good leader. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Why are you tweaking? Losing in the father feel. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm losing my voice, so that's why I'm like, we're rushing it on a little bit. Sorry. And if you guys see me like, you know, looking down or looking aside a little bit more, chat's over here. And at the same time, my throat is killing me. So I look down because I don't want to like the mic. Take care of yourself. Thank you. I appreciate it, Vince. Oh God. No! Austin 316. Cause Stone Cold told you. you start making up random verses. Stone Cold said so, you know. Oh no. La Biblia, yeah. God. That's a cool power though.
創世記第3章19節
皆が陸に散っている間、この船を守るのが私たちの任務よ。忘れたの？
お嬢様こそお忘れですか？罪深き者に裁きを下すのが私の神命。敵などいくらでも来ればいい。己が豪罪を命であがなわせてやりましょう。
Nathaniel Hawthorne。
それともあなたも贖罪をお望みですか？
あなたなんて私の靴を磨く資格もない。
The Scarlet Letter and Gone with the Wind. No. I'm sorry. Also, my voice. No. That Ogawa strikes again. No, but that's okay. Here's where it gets interesting, right? Because then comes in ability usage and instances with this. The Scarlet Letter, you mark your opponent, right? Or not, you don't mark your opponent, but you know, if you're seen as impure or whatnot, you get a letter. So I'm assuming that you mark your opponent in some capacity. Yeah, plain and simple. Either that or they wear a letter. One or the other. Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
ないわ。
荷物の中にこのような手紙が。
Let me send this. Let me send this in the most unserious fashion that I can. Oh gosh.
手紙？背景。
時価ますますご静粛。
Thinking of you, dear sir or madam. I hope this letter finds you in good health. Bro, he wrote in crayon. He's so polite. No. The shining out letter. Look at that pretty smile. He's so, bro hit the pose. He's just That's so
今日の
bad.
ことお喜び申し上げます。こたびの計画の折、先月ながらギルドご所有の次なるを気やする旨申し伝えたく。
我々はギルドの持つ次なるものを気やす。一つ、豪華客船ゼルダ号。
The Zelda.
一つ、ナサニエル様がご神命。一つ、
Oh.
マーガレット様がご神命。
Oh.
以上、ポートマフィアボス森鴎外。
He's like, y'all gonna die and y'all gonna die today. This is the order y'all gonna die on. You ready for this? Oh, he took her blood crayon. Oh no. The Zelda. Y'all gonna die today. He ate the crayon after he wrote the letter, trust me. Sincerely? Hold on. Sincerely? Mori. Such a friendly letter. He's so over the top.
船と私たちを消すですって？まさか。
荷を積み込み次第出港します。時間は？あと
There we go. Sorry.
2時間ほどかと。30分で済ませなさい。30分？通常搬入と並行して輸送ヘリでデッキのヘリポートに直接降ろせばいい。それと船周辺の警戒強化。
ちょっと本気？ただの嫌がらせよ、こんな脅迫状。
いいですか？陸地に拠点を持てない我々ギルドにとってこの船は前線基地に等しい。
それが何？
I'm so surprised that they're so calm about it, because it's like, if it were me, I probably would have gone at night and put like any form of C4 in the hole, you know, like down here, and then just blown it up. You're stranded. Just literally grab some C4, put it in the hole, blow it up. Guess you don't really have a base now, huh? They're Americans. They're rich. Yeah, they get death threats on the regular because they're considerate, right? Considerate.
中の今が最も無防備なのですよ。敵とて異能力集団。私たちの命は無理でも奇襲をかければ船くらいは沈めることができるかもしれません。
Yeah.
ナサニエル様。不審な男を発見しました。
Oh? Well, when life gives you fucking lemons, I guess you make bombs, right? Literally, the disappointment, my goodness. Oh no.
桟橋にて発見。逃亡したため拘束しました。
所持品にこれが。
所詮は島国の悪玉ね。
あなたの顔は報告書で見ましたよ。ポートマフィアのボマー殿。
ああ、私は誰？ここはどこ？
かつて列車の爆破を企て探偵者に阻まれたと。
Oh shit.
あれは実験、すなわち失敗もまた貴重なサンプルなのだ。
私がミイラにしましょうか。
いえ、敵の手札はおおむね読めました。彼が爆弾を仕掛ける役だったのでしょう。お粗末な組織だ。
What a shit.
血が。
非文字は神の言葉。不義なるを罰し消えぬ刻印を残す断罪の異能力。
わかった。降参全部話そう。実は僕は宇宙大元帥の外交大使で、僕を傷つけちゃったりするとそれはもう大変なことになっちゃう。
どうやらあなた
Wow.
最後の食材を拒まれるようだ。このレモン型爆弾があなたの能力だ。実にくだらない。爆弾など一般
Watch that actually be the trick, is that those are just regular ass lemons. Because he produces lemons like naturally. It's like he just sweats lemons. The OST is amazing, right? But those lemons are just like it's like you knew that was gonna be bait. You knew people would fucking eat it up, right? He's not a lemon tree. Oh, he sweats lemons like. He must, yeah, he sweats lemons. Like, imagine you're running next to him and it's just lemons fall off of him, you know. That's probably the best way for me to put it. Ew, lemon sweat, yes. Yeah, how big are his sweat glands? Oh
で
no.
も作れる。あなた程度の異能力でこの船を落とそうとはギルドも舐められたものです。
Oh, well, I guess that was a...
神の恩寵。
He's immune.
神ね。神の声を君が聞けるのかい？科学こそ神の創造せしこの宇宙を理解する唯一の言語だよ。
爆発が効いてない。
ここで残念なお知らせ。君たち宗教者は信じるのが仕事だろうが、科学の根源はいつだって疑うことだ。
He really said, fuck your religion. I got science. He's just straight up, yeah, he's just straight up like, oh, you know, your religion? That's cool. Oh, oh
爆弾を
no.
作る異能力という話、疑うべきだったね。確かに爆弾は僕が自ら手内職で作ったものだ。そして僕の真の異能力はレモン型爆弾でダメージを受けない能力。レモン、美しき防水系は幾何学の究極にして退屈な世界の破壊者。
So, okay, hold on. What are the limits? Yeah, what a creature. What an individual. Hold on here. If if a nuclear bomb goes off in the shape of a lemon, would they be able to survive that? How does one discover this ability? That is such a... But would he... Would he be fine even with the radiation falling? Because technically it's a multi-step lemon. You know, it's a lemon that goes from like one bang to like another bang, you know? Just the explosion, not the radiation. How did he find this out? That's such a... If the radiation's also lemon-shaped, yeah. How did he discover this ability? That's a crazy ability to just...
そんなわけで僕と宇宙大元帥から君たちへプレゼントだ。まさか
全員船から離れろ。
Well, well. He got it done. I mean, you know, it's not very direct, yeah.
船が何なのよあいつ。
予告状はいたずらではないようです。そして標的はまだ2つ残っている。間もなく敵が押し寄せるでしょう。ここで迎え撃ちます。奇襲さえ封じれば異能力者が何人来ようと私の敵ではない。
と敵は考えるだろうね。確かにギルドの異能力者は脅威だ。うちの精鋭でも撃破は難しいだろうね。
What made Mori the way that he is? That's what I'm really interested in. I'm interested in Kunikita as well. Like, what actually like made him kind of the stickler that he is, and you know, and all of that. But more specifically, Mori in this regard is number one. How many people has Mori hurt genuinely that we still see around? Like, has Mori, like, how close of a relationship does Mori still have currently with the Zai and others, with Fukuzawa, with, you know, the others out there, you name it? Like, how well does he even know, like, you know, Kunikita, Yoshino, and them, you know? And what sort of, like, trauma has he bequeathed upon them? I want the Mori lore. I don't know, but he's tripped out. Oh, he's eating Elise's crayons. You gotta read so many. Oh, really? Really? He's dripped out and eating crayons. He's flirting with Exactly. He's flirting with Fukuzawa in secret.
というわけで今うちで一番やる気にあふれる子を配置した。
おお。おお。
潮風が胸に毒だ。
But is that enough? You really sent out TB, man. They look like they could be part of the same family. They look like they could be part of the same family. They're dressed similarly too, you know? It's like the father and the rebellious kid, you know? Like, like, yeah, grandfather goth, you know? They should just get along. My son. Yeah, the religious parent and the goth son. Dude, yes. Yes.
Te 早く済ませよう。
ポートマフィアの資格ですか。
気分はどうだ、ギルドのイルマン。
最悪です。聖書の中に出てくるディアボロにでもあった気分だ。名を聞きましょうか。
ディアボロ。
What is your name? It's Diablo. Call me. The moon is red. The blood is beginning. You can call me Diablo. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Our blood. No. May I ask your name? Oh, when my eyes turn red.
ディアボロ。
ならばここはヘルモン山。あなたは神の下僕たる私を試す試練ですか。
試練を望むか。ならばこれを与えよう。
Oh.
私をイルマンと呼ぶな。
I don't use my arms because that would be too cool. Gotta keep them in my pockets, you know? I'm just a cool guy. I love Aku. I love Aku. He's so like Aku is everything. TP man is he's just there to aura farm, you know? Even in intense battle, like
私はミニスター、ローマの遺物とは違う。その程度で私の信仰を軽蔑するな、クズめ。悔い改めよ、ポートマフィアのリトルガイ。面白い。
敵の異能力は中距離を胸とした攻防一体の物質操作能力。
私と類似の方ですか。ならば異能力のポテンシャルの優れた方が勝つ。
Little man kills me. How are abilities formed? And this is where it's all going back into, right? And then what decides the strength of these abilities? As I'm locking in here, that's so fucking cool. First and foremost, I gotta admit, that's so fucking cool. I absolutely love like the way that this is kind of proceeding. But how are abilities formed? And is it more of a perception or belief that gives you the sense of ability? And I ask this because if you take a look at it, like the Scarlet Letter, right? Is that it's very similar to Aku's powers, right? But Aku's power at first seemed more offensive and then turned defensive based on their belief and their need. And yeah, it comes in with like, you know, the Scarlet Letter, or at least like their power at the moment seems to be inscribed by their self-given power, or you know what God has ordained for them, or belief or perception inside of that. And isn't that interesting? Because then if you're no longer human, is hold on, I'm gonna go beast mode here for a second. Give me a sec here. Give me a sec here. I know, I'm about to like full on Rambo out. Watch out. I want y'all to stick with me, right? Yeah, wake up. It's time to go beast mode. Exactly. All right. All right, we're going to call this N overcooking beast mode prime time. All right, in this prime time, is this proceeding at the same way that we're currently going through, chat? And yes, I'm looking at you guys. You guys are like right here for me, so I hope y'all can see me, right? So, and this all ties in. Hold on, I'm trying to make sense of this. When did abilities first come into this world? Have abilities always been around, or did they come at a certain period of time? Right? Kick is just so chill about it on that side. Like, was there a deviation or something that happened that caused for abilities to come through into, I guess, what we're going to call time, I guess, current time? Maybe she's born with it, maybe she's Maybelline. And even inside of that, Could that be seen if abilities users are unnatural and they were created? Hold on. If ability users are unnatural and they were created during a pre-war, post-war time period, which caused a split into like the current timeline that we're functioning in, right? And hence why we see orphans being used as a way to go ahead and create sort of a future timeline so that abilities could keep going. And if they're natural, would they be even seen as good or bad? Because how did society come to accept ability users so quickly? Or is there some sort of like, because was there a huge chunk is what I'm getting at here. Orphan, I know it's not just orphan sushi, but was there a huge chunk of individuals that maybe started like right before the war, and so right after this wartime period here, that maybe did get a natural ability, something that was seen as either natural or unnatural in some capacity? How was they made? Are they seen as good, bad, sinful? And is the orphans being used in that capacity? And is the main goal? Well, recovered? Okay, good. Back. All better. Good. Because I'm looking at this and it's making me wonder this. Are there different timelines that are currently happening inside of this Bungoverse? What time? And I know. I sound like I'm overcooking. I thank you, Star. I feel like I'm overcooking. I feel like I'm severely overcooking, and I'm like dying here. Are there multiple timelines in this Bungoverse? Are there multiple timelines in this Bungoverse, even broken timelines, where they break off, into subsections where it might be like, you know what, Dazai never leaves the Mafia, or Kunikita never stops teaching. In the timeline that we're on is sort of the current time, right? The perfect timeline, the timeline that is there, or maybe Atsushi was never an orphan. Maybe John Stray Dogs is with us. Maybe. I don't know. And even more so, I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'm just going into some like wild spout nonsense at the moment. I apologize. Atsushi was never an orphan would be crazy. Well, even more so, right? Depending on where this started and depending on why abilities were used, universe where Ed is in the detective agency. Is this someone else's story or hopes for what the future would have held? Edogawa at the detective agency. Is all of this our current time that we're seeing? If there are other timelines that are currently happening, going on, is this someone else's story or hopes for the future? I'm looking at this, and this is all coming from, and that's the main question that I'm asking is, where do these abilities come from? And if the time limit is spent, right? Again, this is the thought process. You ready? Overall question: there are ability users. Where does it? What is the definition when this first start off? Because clearly, if everyone had the ability to use powers, this would have been consensually happening throughout society as a recognized element. Therefore, considering that the extreme limited use of ability users and the norming within society, which is very rare to begin with, already highlights a red flag for me as an individual actively thinking. That means that there was a preset aspect of events that created all of this to come through that was either seen as good, godly, or ungodly, and in some capacity as sinful. And if it was seen as sinful, then we have this ability or this aspect to go ahead and showcase, okay, where does this go down? And was this a branching timeline? Is the main timeline and branch here where, like, nothing actually happened and that's just an individual, in the prime time, thinking or hallucinating or, hoping for something in the future, either writing stories or writing an element of self or the future self or a universe or anything like that, where, like, what could have been? Or is it more along the lines of, like, hey, someone, absolutely getting flabbergasted and, potentially like dying, if we're going to be matter of fact, right? And this is like their work of art taking a life of its own, it influencing stuff, which would be interesting in of itself, because then if you incorporate something like that, then you have a situation where if this is actually there, like, let's say that this is a pre-written, novel during a wartime, and all of this is sort of like the hopes and dreams of a set individual. If this is somebody else's story, then this book or this pre-written aspect as to what is the prime time actually take place in the current time, and how does it influence certain events, if that were a case. This all feels like I'm going absolutely insane here. Could a character fabricated timeline ever gain awareness of a supernatural? Well, and that's the main element. Could they? Could they or could they not? That's where I'm getting at, Buttery. Is like, because you have an individual whose power is no longer human, but is being no longer human, and the aspect of making ability users actually human. Is there yeah. Anyway, this all came from trying to find out how ability users work. And now we're going into timelines, which brings up, sorry, I feel like I'm going crazy here. I apologize in advance. I am so sorry. Y'all. I have veered so far left, like out of where we started, that this is absolutely insane. I am sorry. Gomenasai, everyone. Gomenasai. No, this is what I love to watch. We watch crazy. I was crazy once. Because this is where it's getting at, right? Which is essentially how are ability users formed. We love it. Oh, thank you. How are ability users formed? Now we have kind of a timeline, or kind of a working timeline, I would say. Yeah. Kind of a working timeline where we think they might have sprung for, which comes in the next element. What forms these powers? Is it society, societal values, societal expectations, society's instance of self, of preservation of what they believe is right or wrong at a certain period of time that inflicts or kind of like a spirit bomb, where people raise up their hands and that's what they believe, and Goku gets all the energy and splashes it down. But in this way, is it a societal belief or structure that is so wide held and strong that allows for an ability user to be formed, to be reborn, to imagine kind of being given a forbidden fruit, right? A forbidden fruit of knowledge. Like, here you go. Here's this apple, right? But in the process of doing this, right, you will become anew. You will resurrect. You will absolutely turn into a completely new individual. And, you know, the aspect that was glorified, right, inside of like, you know, what society held as valuable, as healthy or not, all of a sudden turns into like, you know, like now you take a look at the same aspect of knowledge as now a dead aspect of knowledge, because now you are reincarnated, reborn as that aspect. And so, because then again, this is sort of where it's highlighting it, right? Is it society value? Is it self? Where it's a self-held belief, God ordained me with this power, therefore I know I am right, and you know my abilities are this. Or is an external versus internal belief structure? Depending on that, right? Champa's thinking pattern, yes. Depending on that, that's where we come in. Where does all of this fall into place? And how is an ability formed altogether? Atsushi's tiger. Is it because Atsushi was always hungry? Is it because, you know, a tiger has nothing to be scared of? Is it because ultimately, I don't know, maybe the only time that Atsushi felt safe or okay, or maybe they needed more protection was at night? Does this kind of make sense? This my weird idea kind of makes sense. At least I hope you guys see my thought process, right? Yes. Okay. And that's sort of where I'm questioning it. And I do wonder, and I guess I'm going to keep that locked in. Where do abilities come from? Do they come from you? Do these abilities come from you, Rain? Or you, Vince? Who gave them these abilities? What was it, Maury? Or someone else? Like, who granted these weird abilities to people? That's the question. Yes. I did. Pidge. I knew it. I knew it. Anyway, we continue. The author of the timeline. Yep.
その程度かイルマン。
やはりあなたはディアボロですらない。
Oh.
街灯についた血液が文字に。
あなたは弱者の肉を貪るだけの魂なき重畜です。どうせこれまで自分より弱い異能力者としか戦ってこなかったのでしょう。
ドートマフィアが何よ。私は一族の名誉を取り戻す。
Oh.
街灯が朽ちる風化能力か。
あんたみたいに敗北も屈辱も知らないような奴に負けるわけにはいかないのよ。
Which is now made interesting, and I guess I'm going to throw this out there as well. I know I was just bringing up and criticizing, not criticizing, but bringing up like, oh, what about the Port Mafia? What about the Guild? Is Trump Fitzgerald? We all know Trump Fitzgerald, you know, how much comes in, right? But like, how... but like, how? Oh my God, I do that once and I'm lose my voice. How much like actual value or loyalty is there? Yeah, inside of the guild. How much would they actually sustain or be there continuously? Are they only there because you're being paid or because, you know, it benefits them currently, but at the most minor inconvenience you're just like, yeah, I'm good. I was just doing it just because it was helping me out, you know. It is what it is. To dip out, you know. Y'all can that's the big question is like how much are they actually loyal to the organization that they're currently serving? This goes for, by the way, this is called organizational testing. Any organizational psychologist, in a big way, I always find it interesting. How many of you guys have ever worked at a corporate agency and have had to take tests or surveys that are anonymous about how the executives and how the agency is doing? Anyone? I know I've had to. Pretty sure if you worked in any sort of corporate or even non-corporate aspect, you've had to take anonymous surveys. How anonymous do you really think they are? How much do you think that it like showcases a lot of the issues that are there? And, you know, I've had people in, you know, other elements where I wasn't a manager or when I wasn't a director, where the manager found out who even though it was anonymous, magically stated it, because ultimately it's a do you fit in or don't you type thing. So when we're looking at this, right, it's like, you know, do you think that people actually fit into this regard, like into these elements? Not that anonymous, right? I don't know. I don't know if the guild is fully off. Like they might be in line, but not fully in line. Again, that's sort of what an organizational psychologist is. Ooh.
Margaret!
Ooh.
敗北も屈辱もやつがれと共にある。やつがれはぬばたまを行く敗残兵。ゆえにこの程度の絶望にやつがれはからせる。
My team, my XP bar is low. Oh, that shot! No, TB man. It really is tuberculosis. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I need more edge. I know, his tuberculosis. What a tight beard to be alive. His XP is actively losing XP. That's my baby. That's why it was real. It was real. Wizard Ed found out that the TB man actually had TB. I knew it, chat. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh! あの深手を負った状態でここに
構わぬ来い。全力で戦え。でなければ奴がれがここに来た意味がない。
なぜそうまでしてあなたは。
奴がれの希望はある言葉。ある人からのごくつまらぬ一言だ。その一言のため血をなめすするかのごとき敗北を幾度も抜けてきた。
He just wants Senpai to notice him. Entire time. I know, my poor Aku. The entire time, Aku has just been fighting for Senpai to notice him. Local sickly orphan continues fighting after coughing up blood to get noticed by Senpai. Does Zai Senpai please notice this guy already? Oh no! Oh no!
男はオートマフィアの殺人鬼だ。だが同時に何かを渇望している。命を燃やすに値する何か。それもほとんど信仰に近い強度で。全力で戦えと言いましたね。
日が変わりました。あなたの望みを叶えましょう。
あ、
何？
おお。おお。
羅生門。レモンナゲット。
What hot topics on Black Friday? What the fuck, bitch? What if Aku is actually the main character? What if Aku is actually the main character? Yeah, bitch, you can't get away with these crazy ass lines. What if Aku is actually the main character? You're telling me that someone that's been down and out gets a sudden upgrade in his abilities. Someone comes to mind and flashbacks on it, gets character ability, gets a character upgrade. Dragon Ball Z's it, you know, the moment that he sees somebody that he's trying to get an acknowledgement from, levels up and is able to fight back. You know, like, it's the MC cliche. He's checking the boxes low key, you know, and yeah, he's really getting the whole Shonen Pro tag. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, but it does showcase that, like, hey, you don't have to start at like the same pace as everybody else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Damn. I guess Margaret is gone with the wind. And with that being said, hey, I know you guys can still see me, but I can't see my OBS. This is why I keep looking this way. It just shut down one of my monitors, so I got to restart the monitor. We'll be right back. Just give me a quick second. You're going to see stream stutter for a couple seconds. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. We can keep going. Oh! Oh!
貴様に言われずとも分かっている。
Oh!
ああ、暇だ。外に出たい。
監視映像に異常はないか。
退屈な映像ばかりだね。
この坑道に侵入するためには地下の廃路線を通るほかない。敵が侵入してきたとしても路線内にある監視映像によって事前にそれと知れる。
道中は罠も満載だしね。
戦争なんて退屈だよ。駄菓子の備蓄も半日で尽きたし。
Rampo. 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 In half a day, you ate all your snacks? Oh.
もう通るほかない。敵が侵入してきたとしても路線内にある監視映像によって事前にそれと知れる。
道中は罠も満載だしね。
戦争なんて退屈だよ。駄菓子の備蓄も半日で尽きたし。そうだ、よさのさ、これで花札やろ。
おやおや、何をかけるんだ。
敵拠点攻撃はいつだって心躍るね。早速次のギグだ。準備はいいかい？
完了しています。
そちらは武装探偵者を粉砕するに十分な戦力だ。とびきりのリフを期待しているよ。
The thing with cameras, though, is how much do they actually relay accurate information? And, you know, can they be hacked? There's always a fear when it comes to technology as to how much are you seeing is actually real and how much time does it buy you before people come on through, right? And even if you've laid down traps, right? What if they're able to recognize those traps and are able to get in at a quicker level? So that's I don't know. Well, big fears. Big
どう
fears.
したんだい？
社長、オフェンスを呼び戻した方がいい。
敵か。襲撃規模は何人だ？
一人だ。
It's just Gingy? Oh no. Oh no. And you have to call back the entire offensive team? And it's just Gingy aura farming? Is it just Gingy just like, yo.
Mii-chan, この騒動が済んだらすぐに迎えに行きますからね。ナオミちゃん、アルナさん。仕事してたの。本当よ。私たち自分だってなんですの一員ですのだ。横浜の商港で客船爆破事故。これってまさかギルドの船？じゃあ爆発って？
もう一方のより爆破が好きな敵ね。次は探偵者が狙われるかも。
兄様は大丈夫かしら？
大丈夫よ、ナオミちゃん。
兄ちゃんも大丈夫ですからね。
それは忘れて。
Oh.
3番、4番、8番、
Oh. They have so much aura that it's just deactivating the cameras. My goodness. I wish I could do that. It's essentially just like, hold on. I gotta make sure that I'm able to get that amount of aura. Hold on. Y'all ready? Hold on. Maybe I have to go into TB mode here. Hold on. Maybe all I have to do is just get your XP bar really high, right? Aura farm. Put your hand up to your face and just. It worked! It worked! Yes! 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 Oh! Hold on. I gotta. The camera just overheats. Yeah, I did it! Oh! That worked! The number one aura farmer of Bungo Stray Dogs. Oh. Oh. Ooh.
特殊の接待役がこんなデクと泣かせる人手不足じゃねえか。生きてるやつが出てこいよ。
社長。
お前も私と同じ意見か。
おいおい、
たった2人かよ。
応対が不満なら事前予約してから出直しな。
マフィアが敵拠点で暴れるのに予約がいると思うか。
Just wait until the Zai gets here. Just wait until the Zai gets here. And then this time, he can pin you up against the wall. Because I don't think your abilities would really... You just wait until the Zai gets here. Uno reverse it from the ship sequence. Please. Uno reverse it. Tell Poetry in Motion, right? Come back. Come back. Exactly. And how... Poetry in Motion. You had Gingy, choke Dazai, pin him up against the wall there, type thing. Now flip it around where Dazai is free and open to fight back. And teach him a lesson, right?
はい、いらないと思います。暴れたいんなら好きにしな。けどあんたは暴れに来たんじゃない。だろ？
なぜわか
る？うちは探偵者だよ。放課後の目的くらい一目で見抜けなくてどうするんだい？
お宅の社長は？
そこだよ。
うちのボスからのプレゼントだ。
Hey yo。
これはギルドの団員か？
奴らを餌で釣った現れる時間と場所もここに書いてある。こんなチャンスめったにねえだろ。憎きギルドに一泡吹かせてやれよ。
Computer? Enhance? Emo boy and other boy walking? Computer? Computer? Enhance Dazai X Gingy, please? Computer? Zoom in, camera. Computer? Dazai shirt off? Computer? Oh, I can just imagine. Oh, I'm dying. Zoom in on you guys are really I'm crying. I'm fried. Oh. Computer enhance. You're one of us. Oh no. Did you read my search? Fuck, Rain.
お宅の社長は？
そこだよ。
Computer, enhance Gingy. Computer, take off Gingy's clothes. How far does this computer go? And it completely like upsizes the image? That's crazy. That's crazy. Stop being horny on me. Oh, not my sir. Hey, yo, good job, computer. Oh, you guys are killing me.
ギルドの団員か？
奴らを餌で釣った現れる時間と場所もここに書いてある。こんなチャンスめったにねえだろ。憎きギルドに一泡吹かせてやれよ。
確かにギルドの異能力者を待ち伏せる好機は珠玉。
なるほど、そそられる提案だね。
だろ？
けどもっといい案があるよ。あんたの手足をそぎ落としてから何を企んでるか吐かせるってのはどうだ？
Hey yo。
そりゃすげえ名案だ。やってみろよ。
ケンジ。
いいね。
Do you think that Yoshino had to like jump over that or duck under that? I want y'all. Right? They're already in battle stance, and all of a sudden, guy comes in and you're just like in front of Gingy. Like, you were trying to be like, let's see. Like, your aura just turns Dude, yeah, it's like you're so threatening, but if you have to duck under that, it's just completely oh, a limbo help. Oh, you guys can't see it. Imagine she got it.
いいね。
気をつけてください。
やはり仕事はこうじゃねえとな。
おお。
何？
Oh.
その異能力。
Oh.
重力使いの中原中也だね。
The gravity manipulator.
中原中也だね。
太宰の評録玉がしゃべって。
My secret, Dazai? Why are you blabbing? I thought we were friends. I told you secrets. I know, Dazai, you snitched. Yeah. Oh, my boy. I love Jinji. This is so great. Oh, he's such a soon. Might have been, what game, yeah.
逆さに立ってるのに帽子が落ちてこない。
It's Aura. It's Aura. His head's not falling off because it's Aura. I love this.
逆さに立ってるのに帽子が落ちてこない。やっぱり都会ってすごい。
さあ、重力と戦いてえのはどっちだ？
答えよ、ポートマフィアの特使。
あ？
確かに探偵者がギルドをくじけば、貴兄らは労せずして敵の力をそげる。あわよくば探偵者とギルドの共倒れを狙う策も筋が通る。
だがオタクにも損はない。だろ？
その話が本当ならばな。
やれやれ。
何を隠している？
何も。
この件でポートマフィアはどう動く？
動くまでもねえよ。
なるほどね。そういうことか。ギルドは僕たちと同じように罠を疑ったはずだ。しかし彼らは食いついた。あまりにも餌が魅力的だったからだ。
That was right there.
何でギルドを釣った？
どこの国でも田舎は心休まるね。
Let me guess, they used your guys. They probably used the attack squad. They probably just have everyone going up around in circles in this matter. Yeah, you know, here's a bait. You want to know where Dazai is? Hey, kid, you want to know where Dazai is? Maybe he'll notice you. Just keep going around, like causing people to like fight one another. I mean, if your enemy takes itself out, it's effective. It's effective.
さて、ポートマフィアからのギフトはこの先だ。
明らかに我々を誘い出すための罠だ。なぜ行く？
Oh.
餌が魅力的だ。誘拐でもすれば、
Oh,
探偵者には勝ったも同然だよ。
Even better, right? Let's attack. Let's attack non-suspecting office staff. Ooh.
すぐ避難させりゃ間に合う。その上、ギルドはオタクらが動くことを知らねえ。楽勝だ。
奴の言葉に嘘はあるか？
ないね。残念ながら。こういう時は真実が一番効く。
穴だと分かっていても探偵者は落ちずにはいられねえ。ボスの言葉だ。
至急事務員に避難指示。それと国木田につなげ。
Huh. So then for Fukusawa, is Kunikita the next in line? Or is it just because he's in the offensive team? It makes sense. Seems like it. They just want to see pictures of cats. Which is awesome, right? It's a way to go to showcase storytelling in this regard. And that's fantastic. I'm just kind of scared. And I'm kind of scared because, yes, we are seeing all the revolving plots. But once again, I feel like what's happening is the enemy came to us. The enemy came to us. We're still in Yokohama dealing with local issues there. What about the rest of what about the rest of Japan and other countries? The Americans came to us, which luckily gave us and by this it's not like nothing against the anime in of itself, like nothing wrong. It's making me worried because again, what's happening with us is this, right? Us as viewers, we're zoning on in to this specifically, but clearly there must be other countries that might be vested inside of this as well, right? And whatever is happening on here, there are a lot of eyes that are probably watching this go down. And so how far does this rabbit like go? And even more so, if we're already talking about abductions, what about abductions of other family members, even of Port Mafia members? So for example, if Aku, has a family, has siblings, what would happen if their siblings were abducted? Or Jinjis, or others? The same tactic that the Port Mafia is currently using on the detective agency. What if others come through and use that tactic on them as well? It's all lies in the center of the ring, just like a circus. At least we're focusing in on this, but there's a bigger whale out here. Like it's a legitimately Moby-sized whale, but we're just right here. That's all we're focusing on. And again, that's where I'm heading to as well, Buttery. And that's what I love about it, because like you've been through quite a number of series and stuff with me that you already know where I'm going with it as well, and you're asking the right questions. Are the attitudes towards abilities in other countries the same as Japan, or are they ostracized and pushed out? And hence why you have more aggressive forms of abilities being used, and hence why individuals want maybe a special permit, special ability, special whatever to come on through and absolutely do any means necessary to get whatever is here, whatever is special. It's such a awesome, oh. 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 Did you guys ever want your senpai to notice you? Or your parents to pay attention to you? Or your parents to care more about you? Yeah, just get married. I don't know. I look at this story, and I'm the more I'm recognizing that there's a lot of elements for a lot of individuals, you know. Especially if you've been hurt, especially if you've been ostracized, especially if you felt like you don't belong anywhere, or if you were hurt as a kid, as a child, by those individuals close to you, and you know, trying to go out and find family and trying to go out and find meaning. Like there's a lot in Bungo Stray Dogs that, as I'm looking at, it really pushes a lot of aspects of home. And they pull over while they don't talk and drive, you know, they're appropriate. Ooh. Yeah, because there's no avoiding it now. They set up the parameters and now you have to fall into it. Oh, nope, can't watch the next preview. There you go. That was awesome, though. That's really, really cool to see. I actually really, really enjoy it. And I don't know if you guys do as well. But for me, that's one of the few elements, one of the few things. Now they're just marching to Maury's tune. Yeah, now they're marching to Maury's tune, but how do you go against that, right? And how do you showcase that? Bungo Stray Dogs is wonderful. Bungo Stray Dogs is absolutely amazing. And I hope that you guys enjoyed as well, VOD watchers. What do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy elements like this? Yeah, we love it. Let me see how my voice is doing, because I'm trying not to lose my voice in there. It's been awesome. For me, it's like Bungo Stray Dogs gives you so much to theorize, and I'm not even sure. Well, there's 5 seasons, but I'm not even sure how much of it actually like gets resolved or gets answered, or even if there's still a lot more there, you know. How much is out there? So I guess I enjoyed it as always. I love the anime with my life. Yeah, no, it's peak. It's absolutely peak. Okay, are you guys ready? Well, with that being said, bottle watchers, please be safe. You will not find an after thing normally what we do on this episode, because we're moving on to the next one in just a little bit. You're treating your computers well. Welcome on back. Hey, we're getting on started with the next episode here. It's been a fun ride so far. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, my voice is kind of coming and going, and after the last episode, it might be a little more show than analysis, depending on what's there. You guys know I do stop and talk regardless, but let's jump right into it. Let's do it. We're here for that. Let's do it. Get in the water. Oh no. Oh no.
ねえ、ナオミちゃん。探偵社の方々は助けに来てくれるかしら。兄様がいますもの。必ず助けに来てくれますわ。
いいロッジだ。土地も耕せばいい果樹園になるよ。
捕獲の方法は
Why do I feel like you would have like one of those like millennial burger joints that like has like you know, like all the really like millennial music and overpriced burgers, you know, then you go there and it's just like this amount of fries and oh my god, he so would. We are young, yeah. Already thinking about what to build there. We do things a little different here, you know. We're all family here. It's a family. Only thoughts the guild has is on colonizing everything. Oh.
君の能力だと彼女たちの首がもげる。僕のブドウで行こ
Ooh. Ugh. And it shows the American sickness at work, right? Everywhere they go, it's like a virus, right? We just contaminate everything and just start taking over. Oh, yeah, no, thank you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Before people start being like, it's a joke, you know, like, COMPUTAH? How do I tell people online that it's a joke? You know, like, oh wow, you can get, like, info from the tree. What? The tree's talking? The trees talk to you? That's crazy. That is crazy. You would have been so useful during some of the wars. That's crazy. The trees are talking, dude. The Lorax. Yo, Fifth. Thanks so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Here we go. The Lorax is here. That is a cool ability, though. Can your ability ever consume you? Like, at the moment, we're under the assumption that they all have control over their abilities. Also, welcome on through, Bella's Book Nook. But can your abilities ever consume you? Like, in this instance, you know, we kind of trust it and see that, like, they all have garnered some sort of control over their abilities. But what happens when your abilities get out of control? Like, what would happen if they were still learning how to go ahead and use that ability where they, like, put the seed in and it grew and all of that stuff, but, like, they pushed the limits of their ability in not a good way, and it ended up just completely turning them into a tree? Or, like, in a permanent state of that ability. Also, for Desai's ability, hold on, and it might have been answered already. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. Desai's ability, if any part of him touches an ability user, that person can no longer use their ability, correct? Yes. It's touch. How far? And this is limit testing. How far can we go with this? If I had a finger of Desai's, for whatever reason, and I, like, does the ability only follow the living person, or can it follow its parts? Sorry. Pretty sure it's only guesswork here. Well, that's... Yeah! That took a dark turn very quickly. That's exactly what I was getting at, Kimch. What if you cut off his arm or his finger? Does that arm still have the ability? That's the big question. Does it? Because if it does, then... or not even necessarily the arm. What about skin graft? I know I'm getting crazy here. What about just like a skin graft of Hotel Trivago? Hair is a part of the body too. Yeah, exactly, Stray. I know we're getting a little too crazy with it, but it's one of those instances where the more that you think about it, the more that it's like, okay, how far can we limit test what we know aspects of Desai, you know? Anyway, please do let me know when you're back from ads, everyone. Please do let me know. What is the source of the ability? Yeah. To the mind trauma, maybe they reside there. Oh, you guys are back? Awesome. Spider-Man ad? Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, hold on. We'll wait till everyone's back. Mods, COMPUTAH, can you tell people to drop a Dorito when they're back? I would appreciate it. All right. All right, just Dorito when you're back, and that way we're able to keep going. All I know is that part of the body is the skin, and I assume because we all know that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys are back. Cool. At least some of you guys are back. Let's keep going. Epic OP, hell yeah. Oh no.
申し訳ないね、お嬢様方。君たちブドウをどうやって育てるか知ってる？ブドウの枝は他の植物と活着する力が強い。だから接ぎ木して育てるんだ。こんな風に。僕のブドウの木と他の植物をこうして融合していけば、この土地一帯の植物を体の延長として使える。植物と感覚を共有しているから。
What happens if someone were to hurt those vines though? Would that hurt your sense as well? Would you feel pain? Like if I went in there with the machete and I just started going ham on the edges. Say that they were in a battle with like Atsushi and Dazai and others, right? Or you wanted How far could Evil Ed go? Like, I'm thinking about this, and it's like, would that be considered torture in that element if you had them purposefully expand and not even necessarily like hit them, but if they're communicating inside of that, just slowly chop off a piece of the branch until you start getting that information that you need? What if you set what if you set them on? Ooh, probably, yeah.
地中の根で振動をキャッチして逃げる誰かさんを見つけるのも簡単ってわけ。そう怖い顔しないでよ。少し頼みがあるだけさ。
悪党にとっての頼みは利用して奪い使い捨てるの類義ですわ。
ギルドは悪の組織じゃないよ。もちろん僕も。故郷に君くらいの年の妹がいるんだ。大家族でね。夕食は戦争さ。妹はパイが好物で、いつも僕の分まで食べる。でも可愛くてつい許しちゃうんだな。
だったら私たちを逃がして。
勘違いさせたなら謝るよ。ギルドの仕事は過酷な分払いがいいんだ。
But the pay is good.
でもなれば故郷の家族が飢える。妹のためなら君たちがどうなろうと知ったことじゃない。
Oh no.
こんな季節に雪が。
ナオミ逃げるんだ。兄様。5分後麓の線路を旅客列車が通る。1分だけ止まってくれるよう話をつけてやる。それに飛び乗れ。
おお。
さあ走れ。振り返るな。
こうなる気はしてたよ。信頼できない情報源だったからね。
宣告見せた奴の異能力、一度樹木とつながれば麓の樹木を操って列車を停止できるだろう。事務員たちが逃げおおせるまでの5分間、
Damn!
一度も樹木に触れさせてはならん。
But your assumption is saying that if he connects with the roots of the trees, but what about the roots underneath where he's already connected to? Because aren't a lot of the roots in nature kind of like fungi, right? It's a giant neural network. Or yeah, lock-in Kunikita already set in there. The car up by the roots, yeah.
今こう思ったね。彼女たちが逃げ切るまで僕に樹木を触らせなければ勝ちだって。戦況を簡略化しすぎると行動が単調になる。
なるほど。後で手帳に書き控えよう。ところで貴様は全国こう思わなかったか。拳銃を叩き落とせばもう攻撃手段はないと。ドッポギング
Oh shit, okay. Aura, let's go. Oh. Oh, Kunikita, what a go.
戦況を簡略化しすぎると行動が単調になるぞ。後でメモしておけ。超大国の秘密組織が異国で誘拐業とはな。
耳が痛いね。でもボスが言ってたよ。ギルドはいいことをする組織ではない。すべきことをする組織だってね。
ほう。
国木田さん、後ろ。
何？銃の効かぬ異能力者か。
遅いよラブクラフト。何してたの？
寝てた。
Sleeping. Oh no. Oh no.
谷崎、ささめゆきで姿を。
Oh. Oh, Cthulhu. Oh. The Lovecraft. Oh. I know.
なんだこの力は。異能力にしても異形すぎる。
こいつらは殺すのか。
どうだろう。とりあえず女の子たちを捕まえてから指示を仰ごう。
あれですわ。アルノさん。
Oh no.
列車が。
よーし、業務終了。地元警察が来る前に撤収だ。
これじゃささめゆきで姿を消しても意味がない。何か方法は。
妹さん借りてくよ。
ナオミをどうする気だ。
担当じゃないからなんとも。まあ監禁か拷問か。
そんなことが許されると思ってるのか。
That's the wrong choice of words, especially towards someone that's oh no. Oh no.
これが仕事だよ。君たちみたいなモラリストには理解できないかな。
モラル？
トラック。この状況を見られると厄介だな。
確かに探偵者には道徳感がある。でも僕にとってナオミは違うんだ。道徳感とか悪、モラルやエゴ、そういうものより次元が上で比べられない。
Now, no, every character has so much to them. I know, I feel like everyone is just a traumatized individual. They've all gone through so much shit. Like, my goodness, this trauma bond, like, I get it, even for my sibling, I would go to the ends of the world, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I have struggles with one of them, but the other one I absolutely, adore. But, like, you press one of these buttons, and it's like, Pitsaku. Oh.
あのトラック、こっ ちに気づいてないのか。まさかこちらが道に見えているのか。
それがナオミのためなら僕は喜んで世界を焼く。
動きが止まった。
And they got isekai to another world. Computer? Put that down for another truck? The isekai is 2 people. No consideration for that driver. No, but again, that's where you prioritize, right? That's where you prioritize your sister, your sibling, or that like random passerby, you know?
動きが止まった。
The thing got ran over by a car. Y'all better book it. That thing picks up speed, yeah. Oh. But I guess real question for you guys. How far would you go to save your siblings or your family members or your dog or cat? Like, what does that mean, right? How far would you go in that regard? Or, you know, for your loved one? Would you put your morals and ethics at risk? Very far, yeah. Yeah, become John Wick if needed. Exactly. Exactly. Ah, shit, here comes the popo.
本部、通報の誘拐犯らしき2人組を発見しました。
事前に通報してあったってわけだね。
ナオミさんたちが乗ったっていう列車、遅いですね。
本部、通報の誘拐犯らしき2人組を発見しました。動くな！本部、通報の誘拐犯らしき2人組を発見しました。
Absolutely arrested. Oh no. Oh no. I think about it this way, right? They know here at least that they would get arrested and not shot, because if it was here in the States, yeah, they would be like, oh, we're dead. Like, that's it, GG's. That's why they're like, all right, we good. We're getting arrested. Absolutely arrest. Oh no. Lovecraft staring at his hands like he doesn't know what to do. He's like, what? I've only been inside. The shit speak. Absolutely. Lovecraft.
遅いですね。ポートマフィアの森さんは合理化の権下でね、数式のごとき冷徹さで戦況を支配する。だから死角から逃れて気が緩む今を狙って必ず何か仕掛けてくるよ。
これで当面は安全ですわ。そうね。あ、ごめんなさい。
Oh?
ごめんなさい。
Oh.
こちらこそごめんなさい。お怪我は？
I don't trust kids. I don't trust that kid. Oh no. Star-eyed child. Oh no.
アツシ君。はい？避けられない案件が生じた。どうしました？トイレに行ってくる。
Y'all ever know that that's like the perfect or one of the best excuses to always use if you ever like say that you go to like a convention or like you're in a social setting, and if you've ever struggled with like if you've ever struggled with like trying to find a way out, always state that like, hey, you know what, like I have this thing I have to go to, so I can only chat for a couple minutes at the very beginning, right? Or hey, you know what, I got to dip to the restroom. Really good way to set up like that you need to dip, right? And I state this because a lot of individuals seem to struggle with this, which once they get into a conversation, it's really hard for them to dip. Like they find it hard to put that boundary line there and be like, hey, like, you know, once you're in that convo or people approach you, you're kind of stuck in that little group. Yeah. But instead of saying, gotta take a dump, be right back. No, right? Like, and just be like, hey, you know what? I have something, like, before the conversation even starts, right? Or as it's going into, I have this thing in like 10 minutes that I gotta get to. And that way you allow the person to talk and then you can find your exit. If the conversation's good, you can stay, right? I gotta call my mom or something. Yeah. But it's always good to like predate that, right? I don't go now. My bladder will explode. Gotta go. Exactly. He's gotta go piss, girl. Huh? I'm sure.
ここなら人目もない。出てきたら。やあ、銀ちゃんか。背伸びたね。
監視はお見通しということですか。
ポートマフィアの監視術を創始したのは私だからね。
You're following his guidebook! He's just like, yeah, that SOP that you learned from, I made that. I know. I mean, he did go to the restroom, right? Technically, I guess he's meeting with the bad, I guess. Holy aura, dude.
で、要件は？
この銃が要件だとは思いませんか？
思わないね。暗殺部隊にしては人選が半端だ。銀ちゃん、危ないからこれ下げてくれる？
確かに要件は別です。
Oh no。
ボスより伝言を預かってきました。
へえ、森さんから何かな？
伝言はこうです。
太宰君、ポートマフィア。
Hold on. That's not how you said it. You said it. The Psycho. Are you interested? No way. The way that he sent the letter at the very beginning, you straight up know that, like. Oh no. Mori.
幹部に戻る気はないかね。
いや、実におめでたいお誘いだ。
あなたの記録を見ました。あなたの血はマフィアの黒です。この国の誰よりも。
マフィアブラック。
変わるものだ。現にそこの銀ちゃんだって。昔はこんなに小さくて可憐な少女だったのだよ。
話をすり替えないでください。
People do change. Just the blushing, the cutie patootie. Again, as a girl. That's so adorable. Again.
人は変わるものだ。現にそこの銀ちゃんだって昔はこんなに小さくて可憐な少女だったのだよ。
話をすり替えないでください。
Yeah, it's a girl. Oh.
春野さん、直美さん、ご無事でしたか？
ええ。でもまさか事務員が狙われるなんて。
もう大丈夫です。僕たちが避難拠点まで護衛しますから。
しかし腑に落ちないね。森さんがこんな茶番に人員を割くとは。
あなたを守るためです。
守るため？
ボスは Q を座敷牢から解き放ちました。
そうだ、紹介しますわ。列車内で知り合ったのですけど。
Wait. This is why I don't fucking trust kids. This is why I don't fucking trust kids. Don't tell me that this is fucking Q. Don't tell me that this is fucking Q. I've set the kid free. You know. No. No. Oh no.
なんだ、カミソリをテープで腕に巻きつけている。あれじゃ、軽くぶつかっただけでカミソリが腕を傷つける。
列車内で知り合ったのですけど。
Do they have like a transference ability or something? Where they don't really, like, they might take damage, but it transfers onto whatever the doll is or looks kind of like a voodoo doll or a hoodoo doll. Like, i.e. self-inflicted. Ooh. Ooh, wait a minute. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is that doll that they have kind of like a voodoo doll type thing? Or is it just a general transference? Because I'm like, no way someone would do that in that capacity. Yes, Q is our baby.
Oh. なんだ、カミソリをテープで腕に巻きつけている。あれじゃ、軽くぶつかっただけでカミソリが腕を傷つける。
さあ、遊ぼう。
バカな。何を解き放ったか分かっているのか。Q は敵も味方も全て滅ぼす歩く厄災だ。
闘争を制するためならば、ポートマフィアは手段を選びません。
なぜ Q が座敷牢に封印されたと思う？異能力の中でも最も忌み嫌われる。
Oh, mind control.
異能力者だからだよ。
なんとかしなきゃ死んじゃうよ。
敵の異能力攻撃。
Oh gosh.
僕がみんなを守らないと。
貴様には何も守れん。貴様ごときが何を守れる？
違う。もう昔の僕じゃない。僕には力がある。
There we go, Sushi. There we go, Sushi.
すいません、春野さん。
Q の呪いが発動した者は厳格に精神を侵され、周囲を無差別に襲う。呪いを発動させる契機は呪いの根源たる人形が破壊されることだ。ただし人形が破壊された時、呪いを受けるのは受信者のみ。受信者になる条件は Q を傷つけること。受信者の体には誰かに掴まれたようなあざが浮かび上がるから判別は容易だ。
But how far can this go? And if this kid walks around everywhere and gets bumped into by everyone, can't he cause an area of effect? Like, if this kid were to walk around and like bump into everyone in you know, wait a while, what is the time limit that is needed? Could I activate this after like a week? Y'all realize why this is absolutely terrifying, right? Yo, Sketch Asylum, thanks so much for the sub. I appreciate it. I spent too much money on books today. Oh, no worries. Thank you, though. Hope you got some good books. Someone get this kid. Yeah, it's a really nasty ability. Like, because if that's the case, imagine going around and you just think it's an innocent little kiddo, accidentally bump into them. They keep going. and next thing you know, the entire, region, city, it's kind of like an infection, right? You don't know how many people you interact with unless you've been locked away forever, right? And how many of those individuals you accidentally bump into, or they accidentally bumped into you, and in the process, this ability activates and you're done, right?
ここに来た時、私を守るためと言ったね。しまった。
Oh no!
やめるんだ、アツシ君。よく見ろ。
アツシさん、やめて。
Oh no!
そんな、最初から僕だけが操られていたのか。僕はただみんなを守ろうとして。
全て貴様のせいだ。力に飲まれ他者を害するその本質は一生変わらぬ。
違う。僕は変わりたくて、ただみんなを守ろうと。やめろ。
これで分かったか、己が何者か。
It's like they're talking the same language. They're there for one another. Oh, it's two hurt boys coming together to find a place that they can. Oh, I know the PTSD flashbacks, right? Saving each other in the process. Yeah, this is
消えろ。異能力、人間失格。
太宰さんの新しいお友達って壊れやすいんだね。でもいいんだ。太宰さんを壊す楽しみが残っているもの。
I can break you. Give me about a week. Yeah, give me 3 days. I just need the Zai next to me. We can break you. Yeah, probably 2 days. Enough so that you'd be so scared of using your psychological abilities or your mind control abilities ever again. Biggest op is an 8-year-old child. Yeah, don't break them. Yeah, you. Oh. And we'd break them. We'd break them by fixing them, and then if they revert back, we break them, and then we fix them. And then we rupture and repair. So you already destroyed. Either A, they heal naturally, or B, they heal naturally through a therapeutic lens and become a very productive member of society, or B, we break their schema so much so that they operate outside of it and they have to readjust, where now they become so anxiously ridden or avoidant of their own abilities and become so feared of it themselves, right? One or the other. We either get rid of the fear, or we instill it. Yeah, rupture, repair them, break them again if need be, right? It's one or the other. Just get that kid out of the mafia, exactly. While on live. Dogra Magra. These are supposed to be authors from I'm like Ed the Builder, yeah.
次は封印などしない。心臓をくり抜く。
また遊ぼうね、太宰さ
ん。Oh, sushi.
行くよ、淳君。立つんだ。
僕はダメだ。僕は言っちゃいけなかったんだ。
淳君。
Hey, yo.
聞きたまえ、淳君。たまには先輩らしい助言でもしよう。自分を憐れむな。自分を憐れめば、人生は終わりなき悪夢だよ。
I thought we just saw Dark Era design come in for a second. I was like, holy fuck. Oh no. Oh no. He's so real for that though. Yeah. Yeah.
人生は終わりなき悪夢だよ。
Yeah.
さて、私たちも手段を選んでいる場合ではなくなった。敵がその気なら、こちらも鬼札を切ろう。
And that's a big thing is if you truly start believing and you truly start becoming hopeless, what happens, chat? Every day starts feeling sluggish. Every day you struggle to find meaning in your life. Every day your depression and anxiety might start actually getting worse. And it can become a nightmare in of itself. You start falling into despair. That's a huge element. So please reach out to your friends if you're struggling, if you're going through stuff. Reach out to your support network if needed. Like there will always, hopefully there will always be someone there for you in some capacity, because falling into despair and going into elements like this is not a fun element to be a part of. And sometimes we need a wake-up call. Sometimes we need a wake-up call when we're, unfortunately falling deep into our own aspects of things. How many of you have ever got into grippy socks? And has that been a healing factor for you? Or did it make it worse? Because sometimes when you go into places that give you impatient, that give you the grippy socks, sometimes it's not the best experience and you end up just falling further into... Vivi, grippy socks is a metaphor for being impatient, because when you go impatient, sometimes you'll get socks that are grippy in nature, it's often what a lot of individuals remember about the place. More comfortable to be miserable than make an effort to get better. And sometimes for a lot of individuals, they find comfort in pain, So that's why I bring that up, because I'm like, I wonder how many individuals have actually found what they've found for a support network, or what they find to be able to go ahead and heal from, Yeah, exactly.
また作戦所かね。
Guild Apprentice. Oh.
その大長編はどうにかならんのか。
すみません。直します。
Oh.
移動中に読む。次の作戦エリアは。
危険です。拠点の客船が落ちた今、フランシス様には屋内でおとなしくしていただかないと。
俺がいる場所がギルドの拠点だ。違うか。
She's adorable, my goodness.
おやわっぱ。一人かえ？
なぜここに？
わっちは太宰と取引をしたのじゃ。行方不明の強化を救うなら、それをおとなしくここで待つとの。わっぱは良いのか？太宰のそばにおらんでも。
太宰さんは政府のエージェントとの交渉に向かった。
Oh God.
何年ぶりですかね、太宰君。連絡をもらった時は。
Bungo. He's back. Oh no. Oh.
驚きましたよ。やあ、アンゴ、元気そうじゃないか。よく来たね。どうして思ったんだい？私が君をもう許していると。
He's really like, let me fucking blow your brains out for what you did to Oda. Like, you're the reason why Oda died. Fuck! I mean, he has every reason to be. Yeah, a warm welcome. Oh.
なんてね。
Sure.
これも弾を抜いてあるのだろう。ご用件は
なるほどな。異能特務課といえば国内最高峰の秘密異能力組織じゃ。味方とすれば探偵社最大の切り札となるじゃろうな。
そうすれば遠からず。
His eyes look empty because at this point in time, it's not like happy-go-lucky, let me go commit double pistachio Dazai. This is like a dark era Dazai that needs to come out for a little bit here, you know, in order to try and, you know, save people. But I think with this comes in the main element, right? Again, oftentimes, like, dark Zai. So, I think it was Nick. Nick made a video of all the different aspects or versions that, like, we call the Zai, you know, the Zylings, Dark Zai, Pink Zai, you know, Computer Zai, Brock Zai, the Zais.
京香ちゃんも探偵社に戻ってこられる。
どうかの。のうわっぱ。いくつきかばかり稽古を受けただけの重視の娘が35人も殺しをおせると本気で思うのか。才能じゃよ。才能が京香の魂に黒く絡みついている以上、あの子は闇から抜け出せぬ。かつてのワッチと同じようにの。わっぱ、京香を頼む。
異能力犯罪組織を取り締まるのが特務課のお役でしょう。職務怠慢は良くないね。
Yeah. I know Mother approves.
ギルドの行動は我々も把握しています。
知ってて放置したってことかな。
連中は外交筋から圧力をかけ、構成員に外交官同等の権限を付与させました。もはや彼らは法の外の存在。法執行機関はギルドを交流すらできません。太宰君、逃げてください。今すぐ。そして伝えてください。あなたの部下に危険が迫っています。
We get Ongo back for like 2 minutes. Then they just run him over. No! Oh no! No! Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that car is shaped like an Ongo. Oh no! But the question is, who was driving in that other car, right?
そして伝えてください。あなたの部下に危険が迫る。
Or even if it...
太宰さん、遅いな。
Oh no.
待たせたかな。遅いな。
I just wanted to say that I keep you waiting. How much? Oh no! How much jump scare? He just comes through. He's just like, how much? And you are sick. Your voice, man. Atsushi, we are here by the pier. I keep asking, how much? How much? Yeah. We're waiting. Japan, China boy. Oh no.
待たせたかな。
You throw a good punch, but once you've been in America, you'll feel them all. What a predictable reaction.
つまらん。なんて強い力だ。戦闘系の異能力者か。でもこいつを倒せば戦争は終わりだ。
おお。
今の蹴りはいいな。1万ドル程度の価値はある。だが、
おお。
我々が君にかけた懸賞金は70億。その程度には買えんな。だが落ち込むことはない。
I can't buy you for that much.
さあ、一緒に来てもらおう。
Oh God.
これじゃ前と同じだ。僕は。
And now they adult napped Atsushi. Ah! How much? $7 billion? $7 billion! Too much! They're always adult napping Atsushi. But honestly, a big portion of this, right, is the internal value. The tiger napped him. Oh no. Is that internal versus external value, right? Is, hey, ultimately, you have a rare ability user. So might as well come on through. And at this point in time, if you have them, you have gold, right? You're able to move freely. Oh. Oh. Kyoka, no! Ah! My voice! Ah! That's the end! No! No! That was so good, though! That was so good! That was so good! Fuck, dude. I love season 2. So far, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Yeah, I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine, I think. I think with this, like, the anime is really pushing that, like, you know, the world is not black and white. There's a lot of gray. But at the same time, like, no matter what, like, your past doesn't define you. You're always able to change, you know? Oh, and that was it. That was it. What a beautiful, beautiful show. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Honestly, I have. I thought that this was absolutely fantastic. For me, these 2 episodes, like, ooh, every episode is peak. Every episode is just peak of season 2. And it's just getting better and better and better. Although it is scary because it is like, where is it going to, right? I am losing my voice, though. So I am going to go ahead and call it a night there. I will say, YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Y'all are amazing. I'm probably going to put these 2 episodes together, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Please remember to practice some self-care. Y'all are amazing. Have a great night. Be safe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the 2-episode analysis tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be safe. Absolutely arrested. COMPUTAH? COMPUTAH. Please, you know, how does I survive this car crash? COMPUTAH. How much everything comes back in through everyone. Y'all are amazing. Be safe. How does Ango survive this? Be safe. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. Be safe.